as you start to fill these prison systems with our Black and Latino youth or men from our neighborhoods, and you start to run out, then you start to look at, well, where's the next source going to come from, right? Prison system holds about, 65 to 70,000 in New York State. And when you start to fill those jails, then who's going to be the next one to fill them once your quantity runs low? And so now you start to look at these low-level crimes, right? You got to keep pushing people through the system in order to build statistics, in order to get budgets. So it started with Giuliani, where he started to crack down on these quality of life crimes. You jump the turnstile, they catch you pissing in the corner. Those are summonses. Now they're sending you through the system, right? And then Bloomberg came in, and Bloomberg started to give the police force billion-dollar budgets. Not $1 billion, we talking about $3 billion, 3.4, 3.5 billion, where they start to build a small army, right? They have an artificial intelligence that's worth over $100 million. That all they do is they punch in what your description looks like, and it zeroes in right through the cameras, and it can zero in on somebody that looks like you or you. So, this stuff, and then they sit there and they say, well, we do this for terrorism, right? So as long as you put the fear in the public will let you do that. We need more police. More police means bigger budgets, right? And that's how it grows.
Who was the mayor in 1989 when you?
I don't even remember. That's a long.
We got to find that out.
Oh, it was Koch.
Oh, Koch.
Yeah,
that's right. You're right. It was Koch.
It was Koch.
How am I doing?
And how was he with your charge?
Koch was basically we're guilty. Yeah. At the end of the day, he bought it hook, line, and sinker. Remember, there were 400 articles written about us within the first 2 weeks of this case, dissecting the lives of 14 and 15-year-old kids. So, everybody bought it. He's the one you see in the film when he's like, when the grandmother says, but he's a good boy. Yeah. Don't you believe it?
Yeah, you're right. And I'll tell you, for those who haven't seen it, the Central Park documentary, it was on Netflix. It ain't on there no more.
It's not there.
And they took my fucking Daniel Tiger. My son likes that shit. I don't even know. I'm like, where did shit go? They took away Central Park, and they took away Daniel Tiger. What happens with something like that with Netflix? Is it just they just have a right for about a year or something like that?
Yeah, because I was kind of upset too, because it was a 5-star film. Yeah. Right? It had high ratings, and they said it ran its course. That was it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, anybody who hasn't seen it, I suggest that you go and check it out. I'm sure it's available other places.
Still on Redbox. You can still buy the DVD.
Sure.
But for anyone who's just listening and needs like a quick synopsis of what it was 1989. A woman went jogging in Central Park. Yeah. She got attacked. Yes. She could not recollect anything. And instead of them, I guess, investigating that, they took 5 random children.
Well, they took more. Altogether, it was about 40 kids that actually, during the course of, maybe a week or some months, who they interrogated or they questioned. And we became the 5 who were the most vulnerable. Right. Because we never been involved with the system before.
And then they basically coerced you or made you guys think that the other guys were implicating you, so then you would then blame someone else, and then you guys confessed because they kind of made you, saying if you want to go home, say you did this.
Correct.
And
what was that guy's name? That piece of shit fucking prosecutor. What's his name?
Oh no, it was
the cops, right?
No, yeah, it's the cops, but the prosecutor was Linda Fairstein and Elizabeth Lederer.
Yeah, and there was a guy that we kept on interrogating.
Robin Morgenthau was the DA at the time.
Okay, yeah.
And you kids didn't even know each other. It was kind of just randoms, and they kind of made it seem like you guys were friends or a group or a gang who decided to attack this woman, but that's not even what happened. Yeah. And then they just made you it was on video confessions, right? So they made you guys confess on tape. And then you just went to jail like that. It was just that easy, no DNA to prove it. The woman didn't even point any of you guys out and say, yeah, it's them. That's but right. Just off of them making you confess, that was just enough. And you were children.
That's correct. And, when you put these videotapes and you put them on TV and people see them for the first time, all you're hearing is what you perceive to be the facts. Right. Right? And that's very hard for somebody to come back and say, well, we didn't do it. Right. Everybody's like, no, you said you did it.
Yeah, that's not sticking, Yeah. And you know what, Alyssa, and this is something that the audience could definitely understand or not understand, even if they're younger. 1989, okay? a white lady, raped, beaten almost to death, right?
Correct.
They're looking to stick it on somebody.
Right.
You know, and they're not letting somebody just get away with that. Not saying they would do that today. But
They would.
No, I don't mean that. Meaning, not saying that they wouldn't do that today, but meaning like it was more so in that time. I think it was like very, very like, you know, I don't think they would believe anyone. And just because I remember 1989, and it wasn't a pretty time, especially in race. You know, like I just remember, because keep in mind, I always tell people I grew up in Coney Island until I was about 13. Then I moved to Bensonhurst, more so Bay Ridge area. It was totally different. So all these people who, you know, like when you look at somebody like a Trump, when you look at somebody like a Koch, when you look at, they may have never said it. You can't say these people are definitely racist. And racist doesn't mean only to a point where it's like, to a point where they think like, hey, these guys had to do it because they're this color or because that's what they do.
Right.
That's how they fucking thought. That's how I remember, like, you know, even growing up, I remember people's uncles in the neighborhood were like, yeah, that's just how they are.
How long after they, I guess, made you confess did you go to jail?
Oh, right away. Like, after that, like, you go through the bookings, and then after that, you in the detention center.
And I know it took 12 years for the actual person to come forward and say, hey, it was really me, and then DNA proved that was him. Yeah. So you were in jail for?
No, I was in jail for about 7 years.
Wow.
And then you know, growing up in the system, and then coming home, and then trying to adjust, and I couldn't adjust. I went back and forth to jail. You know, because at that time, you know, I was a different person.
It's not easy to when you come home, and especially being such a young kid, you know?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Did you enjoy the baked chicken on Sundays?